What's up everyone, OJ here and welcome back to another video. So are you picking up one of the new Nintendo Switch models coming out for the first time? Or if you're picking up that new Nintendo Switch Lite that's coming out next month, I've got some games that you should be picking up if this is your first time getting into the Nintendo Switch. These are the absolute best games in terms of what I think. Now I will have some honorable mentions at the end, so don't worry if your game doesn't make it onto the list. Or if you think that there should be a game on here, you know what, let me know in the comment section below. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with a game that I think is an essential key piece to any Switch library, and that is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game launched with the Nintendo Switch system back in 2017, and what can I say about this that hasn't already been said? This game is beautiful, having a nice huge open world. It has stunning graphics, it has great gameplay mechanics, actually some of the most innovative and best gameplay mechanics that I've ever seen. There's not another open world game like this, and I truly mean that. There's no other game on the market. This is one of the most innovative open world games, if not the most innovative open world game of all time. How you can manipulate different things with the Sheikah Slate, how you can kind of solve different shrines and puzzles. There's like a million different ways to do the most normal and mundane things in this game. It has great combat, has a lot of exploration, has a cool but I would say reserved story. It's not necessarily as big as some of the other Legend of Zelda games, but it does keep you thinking when it comes down to it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you're picking up one of these new Nintendo Switch models pretty soon here, make sure you get The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Let's go ahead and change gears just a little bit to a game that recently launched, and that is Fire Emblem Three Houses. This is a strategy RPG from Intelligent Systems, Koei Tecmo, and of course Nintendo publishing it. And this game is a little bit different from your typical RPG. You actually move units on a map or a grid, and based on where you are, you can have different terrain buffs or debuffs depending on the situation, and you strategically take down your enemies one by one in RPG fashion. Now, what makes Fire Emblem Three Houses one of the best single-player games on the Nintendo Switch is the massive and expansive story that it has. You're going to have three different kingdoms, three different houses that you can pick from that all have a focus, but tons of variety when it comes to combat. If you want to be somebody who is an archer and take people out from long range, you can do that. You want to wield magic and destroy your foes, you can do that as well. You want to be an all-out fighter and just go in with swords, axes, and brawl people, you can definitely do that as well. There's a lot of twists and turns in the plot. The combat has upgrades, you can level up different classes. There's all sorts of great things about Fire Emblem Three Houses, and once again the story will keep you guessing, and it is a massive game. You're going to get at least minimum 30 to 40 hours out of a single playthrough on the regular difficulty. If you want to get through everything, could take you up to 80 hours. There's New Game Plus, there's replaying the different houses and have different perspectives and story. You can technically go through it 3 times and get 200 hours of gameplay out of this one. So Fire Emblem Three Houses definitely needs to be on your radar if you're picking up a brand new Nintendo Switch system soon. But let's go ahead and move over again to a game, especially if you're looking for some multiplayer action, and that is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. This game is absolutely spectacular. To me, it is my favorite fighting game of all time. Everyone is here, and I literally mean that. Like, everyone in Super Smash Bros. History is here. You've got Mario, you've got Zelda, you've got Bowser Jr., you've got Cloud, you've got Bayonetta, you've got Incineroar, you've got Squirtle, you've got Charizard, you've got Ivysaur, you've got everybody in this one, man. It is amazing. Mega Man, oh my gosh, there's just so many different characters, but it's not even all about the characters. It's about the content in the game. So many different stages, so many different modes to go through. Completely awesome, well done, refined gameplay mechanics with the combat system, consistent support with new DLC coming out. We got Joker, also got Banjo coming out later in the year. We just got the hero from Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition that's coming out soon on the Nintendo Switch this September. There's just so many awesome things about this game. They just added a brand new tournament mode, and whether you're a casual, you want to kind of jump in there, play multiplayer, up to 8 people on one system, 4 players online, throw items and hit each other, or if you want to get into the serious play with the quick play and go on there and rank up your GSP, you can do that in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. My absolute favorite thing about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the variety with the controls and the gameplay. It seems simple enough. It seems like, hey, I can just press forward A and up A and down A, and that gives me moves. But as you keep playing and as you keep learning different movement options, in order to get better at beating your opponents, you start learning things here and there, and you realize that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a really deep fighter, and you can have a lot of fun playing it competitively and also have a lot of fun just playing it, you know, for fun with your friends and all of that. So whatever way, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate should definitely be on your watch or buy list. Next, we're moving on to a game that has a huge world, tons of different content on here. This game might have the most single player content in like a game ever, and that is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the base game. That is the meat and potatoes. That gives you all of the content that you're looking for. They've added everything in here. If you're picking up this game at this point, you're gonna have so much content in this game, it can take you like 2,000 hours. You have challenge modes, you have a huge story, you have huge worlds to travel to, you've got a lot of different rare blades to pick up, and in the game, you kind of go through, it's an action RPG with some kind of like strategy elements kind of put into there, MMO elements, because you can see the enemies on the map and wherever you're going, you can kind of run around, you can get into fights with them, you can avoid them if you want to, but it's kind of like a way where you position yourself into getting certain types of attacks on enemies, and you have a party of people that you can use, 3 people each with their own blade, so 6 on the map. And the blade that you have behind you has different attributes, kind of like Pokemon, right? You have like ice, or you have electric, you just have fire, there's all different types, and those can get you certain benefits in terms of effectiveness against enemies when you activate blade combos. It's a big, complex system, but once you get the hang of things, it really just starts moving. All sorts of modifiers with weapons and different types of items and leveling. It is a game that is expansive. It might seem overwhelming at first, but once you get the hang of things, it is a lot of fun. And if you want even more in terms of the story wise, because the story in this game is absolutely exquisite. The music in all of these games, I should mention that too, the music in all these games is great, but Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Torn of the Golden Country, outside of Super Smash Bros., because it has music from every single franchise, if you're talking about just unique to the game, oh my gosh, this soundtrack is absolutely amazing. But Torn of the Golden Country, that will actually even give you some more gameplay and perspective on what happened 500 years before the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So you can even expand the game more if you want to. I just think that there's just so much content in this game and what they're doing. You can't not have it on your list when it comes to Nintendo Switch games to pick up. And last but definitely not least, we can't leave off the plumber from the list. Super Mario Odyssey on the Nintendo Switch. This is a massive sandbox or open-ended style platformer in the same vein as Mario 64. Now, to me, there's not really anything wrong with Super Mario Odyssey. It has a bunch of levels that you can play. Check. It has a great but simple story in the same Mario fashion. Check. It has tons of secrets to collect. Check. It has a bunch of different modes that you can play through in terms of after you've beaten the game, so end game content. Check. It has amazing graphics. Check. It has great frame rate. Check. Like, it checks all of the Mario boxes in order to complete a Nintendo system, and this game, Super Mario Odyssey, you're going to have a blast playing through it. I was thoroughly impressed. Platformers aren't my favorite genre out there. I'm not huge on them, but this one impressed me like no other platformer on the Nintendo Switch. It's just absolutely phenomenal in terms of what they've done with this game. I like everything about Super Mario Odyssey, just playing with a Pro Controller and kind of playing on there like it was Mario 64 or it was like Galaxy. The classic 3D Mario game is just amazing, and they outdid themselves with this one here. So make sure you guys pick up Super Mario Odyssey. Now, I do have a couple honorable mentions when it comes to this, guys, when it comes to this list, and I have to say games like Octopath Traveler are also really good. So that is a classic, kind of, it's like a RPG, but it's like done in a classic like 16-bit style, but HD. It looks absolutely amazing, done by Square Enix, and Nintendo helped out a bit as well when it comes to publishing. Also, another game is like Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. That game is really cool. You get 3 games in one, and they're selling it pretty cheap on the Nintendo Switch at this point as well. I also want to mention stuff like Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is also a strategy RPG that you might want to pick up. It's a collaboration between Ubisoft and Nintendo with Rabbids and Mario characters. That game's pretty cool too. And there's a lot of other games too, guys. There's a lot of indie games, stuff like Celeste, Enter the Gungeon. There's just a ton of stuff to play. I just thought I wanted to talk about some of my favorites when it comes to the essential big games on the Nintendo Switch. So what are your games that are essential for the Nintendo Switch? And would you guys like me to do a version 2 of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.